Top-Bed Talk.
My name is Desiree Chappell, host of the Roundtable, and we have Dr. Raul Castillo, the medical director of anesthesia at the University of Missouri. We have Jennifer Clark. She is a CRNA there at the University of Missouri as well, and she is the lead ERAS CRNA. And we also have Kay Smith, who has, by default, became somewhat of an ERAS coordinator lead there at the University of Missouri as well, but she's technically the pain nurse coordinator. So thank you so much for joining us today at this roundtable discussion. We've had a relationship now for a couple years.
Right.
We met when you guys were first starting out, and Dr. Castillo, you kind of had the foresight that you knew that enhanced recovery was going to be kind of the wave of the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you were able to see that. So
Yep.
I want to talk to you guys and get a feel for where how long have you been doing the program, where you started, and kind of where you're going with it. So what's your experience been over the last couple of years?
But in summary, we started basically in July 2016 with the idea to have an enhanced recovery after surgery program at the University of Missouri. This was supported by the chairman of surgery, which is a big asset for us. We started moving since then. Went to MD Anderson to get an idea how to get initiated. And then by November, we start doing cases, 2016. Since then, we've done the whole 2016, 17, and whatever it is for this year, for a total of around 153 cases.
For colorectal patients?
It was very interesting because we were planning to implement the cystectomy protocol, but Jennifer was a real push for me. She didn't let me stop until she was asking me, you need to do this protocol. The intro protocol needs to be done. So we eventually sit down and together we designed the protocol. And we started doing cases without ERAS being launched. And the surprise was that the outcomes was outstanding. And then
Immediately.
And we started doing pancreatectomies first. Whipples, pancreatectomies, hepatectomies, oncological surgery in general.
Yeah.
And with those big surgeries, the results were amazing.
And that was just using the intraoperative portion of the ERAS protocol.
Absolutely.
That's not including any of the preoperative and or postoperative enhanced
Wow. So
recovery.
it was an anesthesia-led
Exactly.
initiative within your facility.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. That's awesome.
Then when we start seeing these results, all the surgeons, they came to me and said, well, are we going to be doing this for my service? We haven't even started the first one yet, right?
Yeah.
We're just doing intra-op protocol, like Jennifer saying. Yeah, but you're getting great results. So eventually we launched cystectomies back in March 2017. By November, we had done 15 cystectomies. We haven't stopped. We keep going. We continue doing pancreatic, thoracic. Now we're doing craniotomies with ERAS.
Are you still just doing an intra-op protocol, or have you expanded it throughout the continuum of care? And how are you leading this, Jennifer or Kay, or how did you guys implement that piece?
Well, we're very much so leading this as a team, which ERAS is all about. That's how you sustain a program. And so we have instituted initially our cystectomy, and that was the full protocol. So that's utilizing preoperative portion, intraoperative portion, and post-op. And so that's been our first protocol to actually officially launch. So the next protocol will be our colorectal protocol, which we will hopefully start within the next month.
Oh, that's great. You guys are really doing some amazing things here.
Yeah, in addition to what Jennifer just said, our good relationship with our oncological surgeons is based upon the results that we had with the ERAS implementation, intra-op ERAS implementation. Even though we do not have a full power ERAS protocol for oncological surgeries, the surgeons are doing the work because they know now that it is very beneficial and the outcomes are amazing.
Yeah, there's no denying it. You can't deny it, can you?
Yeah, you're right. There's no denying it. And that's where we're going right now. In the pipe, we have, neurosurgery, we already done 24 cases, okay?
No, I think closer to 35 now.
Yeah. We have good volume of only elective cranies, of course. We have thoracic surgery, which we had done sporadically cases with ERAS protocol with Jennifer. Patients going home 24 hours after the thoracic.
So a lot of people say it's a change in pain management. What was the top couple things that you changed and you created that intra-op protocol for those patients? So what was that?
Well, mainly the omission of narcotics.
Yeah.
And so we do a straight TIVA approach. We use absolutely no gas whatsoever. And so we run a combination of Presidex, propofol, and ketamine intraoperatively. In addition to the preoperative medications they receive in, pre-op holding, if the patient needs an epidural, can have an epidural, we absolutely do that in pre-op as well. That's not available, tap blocks by the surgeon, also a lidocaine drip, ketamine drip while they're in the operating room. And so all of those things combined together, that's how we're accomplishing our incredible results.
Yeah. This is where Kay has been very important for the implementation of this. She's the pain nurse, and she coordinates everything for the pain.
Yeah. Well, we know it starts. I mean, it really is through the continuum of care. Kay, what's your experience been post-operatively dealing with this patients? Do you feel like you deal with more pain, more difficult to control, or is it immediately, much?
These patients are immediately, you go talk to them, and that you immediately can tell that something's different. We had a Whipple 2 weeks ago that we did an epidural for, and the lady looked like she was ready to go home. She was sitting up in her chair. She was smiling. It's just astonishing. With the lidocaine drips, we had a surgeon tell us she did a robotic nephrectomy, and we ran a lidocaine drip on that patient, and the patient went home the next day and did not ask for a single narcotic the entire hospitalization.
And it just, has changed practice. It's totally changed this for our patients and improved the way they recover.
Yeah, we have a discussion now with some of the surgeons, because they want to use the Enterec. Mm-hmm. And my question for them is, we have reduced the use of narcotics significantly. Why we had to put this very expensive drug in everybody?
Yeah.
Let's use it in the people at risk.
Right.
And the hospital will be happier too, because we reduce cost.
I think for many of the elements that we do, you have to risk stratify, and you have to stratify, kind of figure out what are those patients that require that. Now, I think that's a great way to approach that. It's a question that we get quite frequently. Do you do everything for everybody? No, you can't really. It doesn't make sense, does it? In practice, and that's what we always talk about. And one reason why I love talking to you guys who've been, doing it boots on the ground is that we can hear the evidence all day long, but how is that practical, in what we're doing for our patients every day?
Absolutely. So. The change is significant.
The change is amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So have you tracked your narcotics that are going home with your patients? Because one thing we saw is that we were able to reduce intra-op and post-op narcotics, but when we first started, surgeons were still sending their patients home with a ton of oxys, and it's like, they don't even need them,
We do have some very good, very conscious surgeons in the system that they are aware of that we're trying to do we call it narcotic sparing technique. My goal is to call it narcotic-free technique eventually.
Yeah.
But some surgeons are very conscious, some surgeons still old school.
Have you had a change in the state as far as regulation and laws about what they can actually prescribe?
They just implemented about a month ago, 2 months ago, maybe a month and a half ago. Yeah, there was a change in
so that's gonna help our cause, right? For those that are driving this in the
hospital.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I so appreciate you. Thank you so much for
Thank you for
sitting down
me.
with us. And I hope that we have many more of these conversations to come and able to celebrate the successes that you guys have experienced over the last couple of years.
Thank you for inviting us. It was a pleasure for us to be here.
Yeah. Lots more good stuff. All right, enjoy the rest of the conference, guys.
Thank you much. Bye-bye.
Top Med Talk. Nick Majerison here. Thank you for listening to Top Med Talk.
Now, before we let you go, it's important that we remind you to subscribe to Top Med Talk. That way you'll never, ever miss another episode. Also, if we could encourage you to join us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, pretty much every single social media platform, we're there. Join us. And finally, check out topmedtalk.com. If you go to our website, you can subscribe to email updates. That way we can always tell you where we're going to be, what we're going to be doing, and how you can join us. topmedtalk.com, and click on the section marked email updates. Finally, Top Med Talk is proud to act as the broadcasting arm of EBPOM, Evidence-Based Perioperative Medicine. We'd love you to find out more about them as well. ebpom.org is their website. That's ebpom.org. And if you go to ebpom.org/meetings, you can find out about some of the wonderful meetings that we attend and cover across the year here on Top Med Talk. That's ebpom.org/meetings.